Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow bad things to happen? If He is so merciful, why would He do that?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So the first thing that we need to remember is our position with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we bear that in mind, then it becomes clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. He is the creator and we are the created. We are the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, created by Him. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا يسأل عما يفعل وهم يسألون. He will not be questioned as to what He does, and they will be questioned. So as a slave, a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to understand that our position is one of slave and servant. We render our lives, we render our actions and everything that we can for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Secondly, there is no denying that everything that happens with the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is ultimately allowed and permitted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So someone may think that if the Lord Almighty is so powerful, then why doesn't He just stop all the suffering? Well, in reality, if we take a look at when human beings were being created, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the angels asked a similar question. أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءِ. Will you place on earth those whom will cause corruption and spill blood? They will spill blood. What was the response from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. I know that which you don't know, which means that our brains are limited to a certain capacity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us free will. And every one of us here can say that we experience that on a daily basis. So if I want to lift a cup, I can lift it up. If I want to scratch my face, I can. If I want to walk somewhere, I can. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us free will, but everything was decreed before it came into existence, and there is no denying this fact. How the two work together is beyond your and my mind. And what does that do? That is where we say we submit to Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. We submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our minds are too small to fathom the reality of this. Secondly, I'd like to add that you may think that what is happening is terrible. It is evil, it's bad. But why do you attribute that evil to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you have the remedy as humanity in your hands? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you the remedy. He gave you the ability to do something about it. So why are you talking about God's position? Talk about yourself and what you've done and what you can do. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. The corruption has spread on earth by that which the hands of men have achieved, have attained and earned. Is it God that pressed that button to send a missile and bomb children? Is it God that pulled that trigger and killed that child? Is it God that did all of these atrocities? No, it is a human being. So why do you attribute to God that which you did yourself? So, barakallahu feekum, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the understanding.